Hello, everyone joining us today on the internet. We've got another cooking show today. I'm Julia from the Macedon Public Library in Macedon, New York. And earlier this week, I recorded myself making a favorite recipe of my family's. It's called butter chicken or makhani chicken. This is not an authentic recipe. But it's good. It's very spicy and it's very good. It's full of spices, in other words. It can be hot or not, depending on how you do it. So first, I want to share the screen of the recipe first, so you can get an idea of what the things are. And let's make it big. It will let me do it. I'm not seeing a way to make it big. All right, so maybe this is hopefully big enough. There's a lot more ingredients on, oh well. There's a lot more ingredients to this recipe than I've done in the past. So it takes chicken breasts. I used 3. The recipe calls for approximately a pound. We have 3 adult people in my family, so I use 3 chicken breasts, and I get them already frozen. A can of tomato. Oops, it says paste. It's supposed to be puree. See if I can actually edit that. Apparently, I can. Maybe I could, if it would let me. Okay, so it's tomato puree. So it's a big can of tomato puree. It's not paste, it's already liquidy and stuff. Some ginger paste, some turmeric, some cayenne, more or less, depending to your taste. Paprika, garam masala, cumin, salt. It also has optional cashews and currants if you want to add in. It gives you something else to chew on. Currants are a little sweet. Cashew is added protein. And then some butter and cream, and then a little extra garam masala at the end. And I will talk through, and we will come back to this at the end, and hopefully next time I'll be able to actually show the slideshow and you'll get to see it bigger. Okay, so now I'm going to go to the video, and I believe it still has the sound in it. So I'll probably just let it go. Wait a minute. All right. You know what? I think I didn't click the buttons. Let me stop. Okay, there we go. Share computer sound and optimize for video. We're gonna have a cat joining us soon. All right, so hopefully you'll be able to hear this. Okay, so here we have our, oh, except that I can't actually jump on the keyboard. Okay. And now we have no sound. All right, I apologize. So we're gonna do this, we're gonna stop. And we're gonna try this again. I hope you can hear me. It doesn't look like I'm muted. I have sound. We do have somebody joining us live. If you could just let me know quickly if you can hear me.
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, so we're gonna try this one more time. Let's see, the video needs to get restarted. All right, goes back to the beginning. All right, now I can't. Sorry about our cat. This, share. No, I did it again. Stop. And I know you can see me probably throughout all of this, and my face is probably looking pretty silly.
No.
It's okay, you can be honest. Okay, so there we go. So I have the sound, I have the optimized screen. All right. But I'm not hearing any sound. There should be sound. So we're just gonna go with it. I will talk over it. So that was the frozen chicken that I have. This is the tomato puree. Can you hear both sounds or just me talking now?
Just you talking now.
Okay, all right. I didn't want it to be more than one. Okay, so this is my spices. Again, the red pepper, the turmeric, the cayenne, the garam masala, and paprika. I don't know what I would be talking about, probably because it's a large size thing. It calls for some salt. It doesn't call for Doritos. Those are the currants that I use that are kind of, I think of them as baby raisins. I don't know. And then the cashews. We're gonna start, so I'm using the Instant Pot to cook the chicken. I don't know if you have one. They were very popular for a while. I think they still are. There's still lots of recipes online. I use it a lot about once a week for cooking raw chicken, because it doesn't have to be, it can be frozen. Unlike like a crock pot, you're not supposed to put raw chicken, frozen chicken, you can put raw. You can't, not supposed to put frozen in a crock pot because it's cooking slowly and it, there's that window of bacteria, the window of time when it can be unsafe. And in the Instant Pot, which is a pressure cooker, it's safe and it raises it to temperature really quickly and it cooks it, and I don't have to have defrosted it 2 days in advance because I always forget. So that's what I use it for the most. The plastic is giving me a bit of a trouble to open it. I should have done it beforehand. I'm wearing gloves because I don't want to touch raw meat. And I don't want to have to wash it in between each one. So that's all I'm doing here is I'm starting by cooking the chicken in the Instant Pot. The original recipe that I took this all from was to do all of it in the Instant Pot. I've tried it many times. Okay, there was a blur. My cameraman and editor didn't like how it looked, so he just put that piece out. Anyway, I'm still doing the chicken. The recipe, if you make it all with the tomato sauce, I have a specific version of the Instant Pot that is very sensitive to burning on the bottom. And there must be something about the acid in the tomato sauce. I'm guessing, I don't know why. But anyway, every single time I do it, it gives me a burn warning. And then when it starts to burn, it turns the whole thing off and you have to take everything out and stir it up and start it again. And that's a lot of work. So I do the sauce on the stovetop and I do the chicken in the Instant Pot. There are other things that I do completely in the Instant Pot, and maybe I'll do another one of those sometime. But that's it. So you put it in there, you put in a cup of water because it needs the moisture for the pressure cooking. For raw chicken breasts, I had 3 medium size, it's about 12 minutes. And you turn it on, it takes about 8 minutes to reach pressure, then it cooks for the 12 minutes, and then it turns off, and you just let the pressure release before you can open the lid, and it doesn't explode, which is awesome. Not exploding is good. So yeah, so that will be the chicken cooked. If you already had chicken cooked ahead of time, you could have just used that. I mean, skip that whole step. Okay, so this is my stove top and my shiny pan, so you can actually get some reflection of the leggings that I'm wearing in the bottom later on. So this is the tomato puree. I think I was talking here about the Instant Pot with the tomato sauce. I don't know. So that just goes in there. You can also use tomato sauce or tomato paste and just you know, add some water. But the tomato paste is the best that we have found. You can also use diced tomatoes, but when I have done that, I end up generally mushing it later with like a potato masher, so to make it a thinner sauce. You may not want a thinner sauce, and you can just use the diced tomatoes, but it's about 29 to 30 ounces. Now I'm going to be putting in some minced garlic. My family likes garlic, so I use the 2 tablespoons of that. Again, that's about 5 or 6 cloves if you actually have cloves. My cat is coming back. Hopefully, I'm going to try and keep him from walking on the keyboard. And then some ginger. You could use fresh ginger if you have some and grate it down. I get this from Walmart. It's a really great paste already made with the ginger. The ginger adds a little bit of a spiciness, but it's also sweet. And I'm a ginger fan. So I make sure, that probably would be optional, but I use it every time. And then we're gonna add the teaspoon, that was tablespoons for those, and then a teaspoon of all of the other dry spices. So we have the paprika and the turmeric. I used about half a teaspoon, I think, of the cayenne pepper. Let's see what this one. Nope. Yes, this is the cayenne, so I just used about half a teaspoon, so as to not be too spicy. But we've done it with a full teaspoon before, or you could leave it out if you don't like the hot spiciness of cayenne. This is the turmeric. And I don't remember what else. Oh, that's the cumin, the dried cumin, which is a pretty traditional Indian spice. And then the garam masala is definitely, oh, turn the spoon around. And you use a teaspoon now, and then you put another teaspoon in at the end, and that really gives it, if you like Indian food, if you've gone to Indian restaurants, garam masala is, as far as the things that I order, is prevalent in everything. And I enjoy it, so that's great. And then a teaspoon of salt as well. Give or take. Oh, and I have been having pieces of rice. I don't know if you do that in my salt shaker to absorb some of the extra moisture, and they just haven't come out yet. And so, I had a couple of grains of rice come in my salt. But that's okay because we're going to serve this over rice anyway at the end. You might have seen before when I was showing the Instant Pot, there was another, I love kitchen appliances. I love kitchen appliances. And we had our rice cooker also there in the background. So that was making the rice. You can also make rice in the Instant Pot, but you can't do it at the same time as cooking the raw chicken breast. Or maybe you could if you had a pot in pot, but anyway, I've got a rice cooker, so we had that going. So I'm stirring up all of the sauce ingredients for now, and then this is just gonna slowly simmer on a medium heat while the chicken is cooking. So again, probably by the time this was together, maybe about 12 to 15 minutes. All right, so now the chicken has cooked and the pressure has released, and I'm taking out the cooked chicken breasts. Yes, white, pale on pale. And then let them cool. You know, when you cook meat, you want to let it cool a little bit before you cut it so that it can firm up a bit. So that's what that's going to do. And I believe then this is when I'm going to add in the cashews. Yep, a handful, 2 handfuls of cashews, because that's what my family likes. Just whole cashews. We get them at BJ's in, you know, huge containers. And then also, I normally add a handful of currants, but I didn't have many, so I just used whatever was in the package. And again, this is a little extra sweetness. It's a little chewy, so it gives your teeth something to do while you're eating. Yeah, keeps your teeth happy. I don't know. And then this is also when you put in the 2nd teaspoon of the garam masala. I'm not really sure why it says to divide it that way, but I've always done it. Maybe sometime I will try putting it all in the beginning and see if it makes a difference. Oh, and then we also add our dairy now. So I've turned down the heat at this point. So you add a stick of butter, so a 1/2 cup of butter, and then also a 1/2 cup of heavy cream. You can use lighter when we haven't had heavy cream in the house. I've used 1/2 and 1/2. It's 1/2 and 1/2 is a staple in our house for coffee drinkers. So you could also use milk, but the thicker the dairy, the creamier the sauce will be. And if you did put a lot of cayenne in there, it will help to mediate the heat. So stir it together. I don't think I put in the garam masala yet, so I will do that. And again, this is, you can see the steam off to the side that the chicken is still cooling at this point. Garam masala. For that one last time. And then I think I pull away to cut the chicken. And I did, and now we're back. It's all nice and smoothish. Here comes the cat again. So I think I cut the chicken a little, it kind of ended up being shreds, which was okay. My family enjoyed it. It's all gone. There's no leftovers. Normally I go for a little bit more of a squarish cut, you know, like dice. But it wanted to shred. Maybe if I cooked it a little less, I don't know. They might have been slightly smaller breasts than I normally use. And I have no idea what I'm talking about. And I keep stirring. And then the last thing is going to be, I'll show it on a plate. It's supposed to look good. It doesn't really look good, but it tastes really good. All right, where is it? Where is it? There we go. I don't know. Maybe it's the plate. I don't know. I threw some extra cashews on top just to show. All right. So here is, let me do the screen again. Here is the recipe. I don't know why it's not making it big. F5. I don't know, it's not making it big. And I don't know how else to do this. So what if I do that? That make it bigger? That's a little bigger. I can't do the slideshow. Okay, so again, to reiterate, I started with cooking the chicken. You can cook it however you want. I use the Instant Pot because it was frozen and it cooks it quickly from frozen. I cooked it for 12 minutes. I probably could have used a little less because of the size of my chicken breasts. Did the natural release and remove it to let it cool so that it can be cut. The sauce, you throw in the tomato puree and the ginger, and I don't have the garlic on here. I apologize. Okay, so it also had 2 tablespoons of garlic, minced garlic, and 1 tablespoon of ginger. I don't know where my brain was, but I'm sure 2 tablespoons of ginger would be good. And you don't really need the garlic. I don't know. Anyway, turmeric, cayenne, paprika, garam masala, a teaspoon at the beginning, a teaspoon at the end, cumin and salt. Stir it together. Let it simmer for a bit, maybe 15 minutes while the chicken is cooling and cooking, and then add cashews and currants if you like. I guess you could try put in other nuts as well, and then let the sauce cool down. You don't want the sauce to be too hot when you add the dairy because then it will not be as creamy and it will just thin down right away. So we add a stick of butter and a half a cup of cream or half and half. Add in the last of the garam masala. Throw in the chicken once it's cut. Stir it all together and eat it. And it's wonderful. And I hope you enjoy it. This is our favorite. This is a favorite thing that we get when we go to an Indian restaurant. And this is not the same. It's not going to taste like this at a restaurant. This is kind of its own thing. If you wanted to do it for real, we have done other recipes that call for the meat to be marinated overnight, and you've got like a dry sauce rub on the chicken. And anyway, that was really good, but it was a lot more work. So this is pretty quick. The sauce amount says it's supposed to be for two meals. It's never been this for us. I don't know. I guess you could put in less chicken and have more sauce. You can adapt that to your taste. So that's basically that. I wonder maybe I can write out the instructions, the recipe better, and then I'm going to stop this share now and maybe get it on our website. So that will be a plan so that I can actually get the correct ingredients on there in the right amounts. And then I'll just have that as a page on our website for people who might be curious. And that's kind of it. I was thinking about also making some naan, which is the flatbread that they serve within the Indian flatbread. I've made it before. It's not difficult. I just didn't get around to it. So I don't know. So that's one thing that our family enjoy. We normally have about once a month. Yeah, it's pretty easy and we enjoy it. I don't know what else to say. I think I'm not going to be doing cooking next week because I think I'm going to be doing a craft. I'm going to be making, I'm hoping, fingers crossed, I'm going to be making some flower fairies using pipe cleaners and embroidery thread. Kind of thinking about summer because we've got to figure out what we're doing with summer reading. And it's all about fairy tales this year. So I'm getting back into it. This is something that I did when I was homeschooling our son many, many years ago. And I made little fairies to help teach math. And so I'm relearning how to do that. So I think that is going to be my next week's Friday and no cooking. I've been having a lot of fails in the kitchen personally during all of this social distancing, and it's kind of making me downhearted a little bit. So I'm kind of stepping back and doing some simple things. Like I've made brownies twice and they've pretty much been fails. Like, how do you mess up brownies? But I've been doing it. That's okay. We don't need brownies. There's other things in the world. So yeah, if you have something specifically that you would like somebody to try, if there's something that you've seen that you're like, hey, I want to know how that works, but I don't actually want to make it myself, send an email to the same email you register for, macreg, MACREG @owwl.org, or you can email our director, and I think it's Macedon Library Director macedon@owl.org. Or you can go to our website, macedonpubliclibrary.org, and see the email there. If you have ideas or suggestions, or if you would like to join us and maybe do some cooking on screen. So it's not just us who work at the library, but also our patrons who can share. Just, no pressure. And I will leave it there. So thank you very much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed it. And if you try it, send an email and let us know. All right, thank you so much. I'm going to turn off the recording. Remember how. There we go.